Hello guys, it's Super GT here. Welcome to my guide for Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. More specifically for this community challenge, it's the community bounty event. So if you beat RBW Tritton's time before the 26th of February, then you'll be gifted an Aston Martin V8 from 1977. So that is a good way to get yourself a unicorn car, the 1977 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. So there's his time there. It's currently a 139.5. You can download his tune. Any tune is available, so you can tune your car yourself. I use the DTM Lionel tune, which is available on the leaderboard. You can just download it from anyone who uses it, which is most people. And you've got to use this car, the Royce Wraith. A very heavy car, quite an unusual car for time trial, but once you get your hands around it, get your head around it, sorry, you can actually lap this car pretty quickly. So this is going to be my guide for this circuit. So we're going to do one lap first at full speed, and then I'll go through again on my next lap, my quicker lap, and show you more specifically my turning in points and my braking points. So coming up to Druids at the top of the hill here, you've got to be very patient on the throttle. Wait and wait and wait until you know that you can go to the outside without having to re-release the throttle. Into this one, got to brake very early, very deceiving corner. You can go two wheels wide on the exit for better traction, bring yourself back on gradually. And this is a very tricky corner to get right, and it's actually quite crucial to getting a good lap around here. So I go quite wide on the exit, but you can take the curbs in this car. This track doesn't have the best curbs, but in a car as heavy as this, you can get away with it most of the time. So coming through on the longest straight on the track into the flowing back section of Brands Hatch Grand Prix version. So getting a nice line through there and into another fast right-hander. A lot of them around this section. I'm already 0.07 of a second up on my best lap. This isn't my best lap. My best lap is the next lap, which I will slow down. So actually took quite a slow line through there. Got a quite good line, but didn't carry enough speed. And through this one, took the curb on the exit. So this lap here isn't my proper guide. We're going to do that in just a moment. Into the final corner, and this guide will apply for pretty much all the cars and all the tracks. Not all the tracks, all the cars around this track. Obviously the braking points will change, but the lines etc. will pretty much be the same. So coming into the first corner, you're going to want to brake just before this first board on the left hand side there. So brake before that and get on the brakes nicely. Wait for the car to settle. And this curb on the inside here, you do not want to take that. That curb really can unsettle this car. Even a car as heavy as this one, it's one that you just want to avoid at all costs. So try to avoid that one if possible on the inside there. And on the exit, you can take this curb. It might unsettle your car, but you want to go two wheels over it onto near enough the green part if you're going to do it. If not, just don't bother. So you can see here, it unsettles the car slightly, so you've got to be very careful with that curb. Going into Druids, I like to brake before the bridge, level with this orange edge of the barrier. This might put you slightly wide going in, but that's okay, because on the exit, you just got to be a little bit patient here. So you can see I'm not on full throttle just yet. That's the blue bar on the bottom right. I'm not on full throttle yet. Got to wait for that in just a moment. So about here, I'm on full throttle, and as you can see, I've gone for a very late apex, which gives you good speed going down the hill. Go over to the right hand side. Brake very early before the 100 meters board there. Line yourself up with the curb, and as you turn in, I'm on no throttle at this point and no brakes. So what this does, it just allows the car to settle down. So you can see there, no throttle, no brake, known as coasting. It allows the car to settle essentially. And on the exit, again, keep two wheels on the track, but you can go two wheels over on that dirt to give yourself a better line through there. Bring yourself back on gradually. And going into turn 4, you're going to brake on this 100 meters board on the right hand side. I keep getting my left and right wrong, but that's on the right hand side. This will put you quite wide going in, but that's quite good because on this corner you want a very straight exit to give yourself good speed onto the straight. So by about this line, you should be able to get on the throttle near enough 100%. I'm on about 90 here by the time we get to the line. But as we progress a little bit further, I can go on to 100%, and you can go over this curb on the exit just about. You can see there the car gets slightly unsettled as I do go over that curb. So A car as heavy as this can sort of withstand these curbs, but that one you have to be careful. Don't go too wide either, because it can sort of suck you in if you're not too careful. So go over to the left hand side, under the bridge, keep to the left. We're looking for the second board here, and this is where we're going to start braking, going down into third gear for this right hander. And much like turn 3, I'm going to be coasting, waiting for the car to start gripping. So you can see at this point I am coasting, waiting for the car to start gripping and heading towards the apex before I start accelerating out to give myself a better line through here. And on the exit, you're sort of just looking for the curb on the exit there. It's quite hard to see, but with practice you've had to go out to that curb on the outside. So here we're going to start braking between these two boards. So there's the first one, just before that yellow part of the barrier, and the second one a bit further back behind the orange one. So brake halfway between these two barriers, which is about here, and you're going to start turning in just between this orange barrier and the second board. So this is a good turning in point for this corner, and again we're coasting just to let the car settle and get into the corner before we start accelerating. And as we progress a little bit further, we're going to go 2 wheels over the curb, and by this point I'm obviously confident that the car has reached its apex, so I can start accelerating 50% at this point before going on 100% on the exit. Now coming up to probably the hardest corner to get consistently right on this track, really hard to nail this one perfectly. By about this point I like to line myself up with the two curbs, so they're in a line there, and I like to go parallel to those two lines, that line essentially between those two boards. You're pretty much following a parallel line going towards that middle orange part of the barrier there. So as we move slightly forwards in a moment, you'll see that I'll line myself up with that curb. So start braking by about the first board there, or just after, and this is the point I'm talking about with that line. I'm on the far left hand side by the time I get to that orange barrier on the left, and I can take a nice long sweeping corner there. So you're going to turn in very early for that corner, and on the exit you can get very close to the exit there. You see this slightly curved. Use the throttle to push yourself out to the outside there, obviously not too much. Brake just before the 100 metres board and this orange end of the barrier, about 20 metres before, and get yourself in as early as you can. I'll go a little bit late. This is the main mistake I make on this lap, and I probably could have got into the 37s if I had done this a little bit better. But again, I'm coasting, waiting for the car to grip, because I have gone in a little bit too late. I have to coast for a little bit longer. On the exit you can take this curb. It's quite a safe curb to take. You'll get your final split time there to see how good you're doing as we approach the final turn. You're going to brake just before the end of the orange barrier there, you see on the left hand side. Brake just before that, about 10 metres before. Turn in just before the edge of the grass, before that the cut through there, and apexing on the right hand side obviously. And I'm on about 50% throttle here. You can get on the throttle very early. I'm on 100% here by this point already. So this car is very respondent to the throttle. You just have to be very patient about when you get on the throttle. And I haven't actually got on early enough because I haven't used the full distance. But that is probably a safer line through there, because this car, as soon as you get on the throttle, it will start straightening itself out and it will push itself to the outside. You obviously don't want to do it too early. I approach from the right hand side to get a straighter run to the finish line. But what we're going to do here is go through that lap again, but at full speed this time. So approaching from the left hand side, braking just before the first board, waiting for the car to get settled. Avoid the curb on the inside. You can take the one on the outside, but just be very careful because it can throw you off. Braking on the orange barrier on the left hand side, going a little bit deep but cutting back for a late apex and good acceleration on the exit. Down the hill, go over to the right hand side, brake nice and early, over to the curb. You can take the curb on the inside and a little bit of grass if you have to. Get over the dirt on the outside to give yourself better acceleration. Braking on the 100 metre board, going in deep, cutting in late for a good exit. Going over the curb if you have to. Don't take too much of that curb because it might pull you in. Getting over to the left hand side on the fastest straight of the circuit underneath the bridge. We're looking for the second board, as we can see here. Turn in third gear, wait for the car to settle before getting on the throttle to the outside, braking halfway between these two barriers, the board, sorry, and then turning in on the second one. Get 2 wheels over that curb. This is the hardest corner to get right, most likely. Line yourself up with those boards and that orange marker on the left hand side. Get over the curb for best line through there. Over to the right hand side, brake before the 100 metres board. I'll go a little bit wide, didn't turn in quite early enough, so remember that. And the curb, you can take that on the exit of that turn. Go over to the left hand side, brake just before the orange end of the board, end of the barrier. Turn yourself in for a nice apex. Get on the throttle as early as you can without going wide on the exit. And if you're on a good lap, head over on the right hand side for a straighter line to the finish line, which will help you save a few milliseconds, which might put you up a couple of places on the leaderboard. So this is where my lap put me. I could have gone a bit quicker. I ended up 96th in the world. I think I could have done 37, which would have put me up a few more spaces than that. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with that lap. You can follow my ghost if you choose to. It's up to you, obviously. But that's going to pretty much wrap up this guide. It doesn't just apply to that challenge. Obviously, it will apply to any car you choose to drive around here. But of course, the lines might change ever so slightly with different cars that you use. So I hope this guide has helped you. Let me know if it does. Let me know if you want to see more of these guides. Hit the like button if it does help you. Subscribe if you want to see more of the same. I hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.